She goes, okay, cool. Well, another minute goes by and she comes back out. She goes, so like, are they close? And I said, yeah, they're almost here. She goes, okay, because like we all need to hurry because we finna smoke. And I was like, well, shit, girl, go ahead, She goes, nah, we finna smoke. And I was like, oh. And, then I'm like sitting there, trailer. I see like, gas cans and electric cords going over here and this and that.
Was this before or after you hit rock bottom?
This was.
Girl, why'd you call me?
Let's have a chat, talk this and that with PB and Jaisy.
Hey, welcome to the PB and Jaisy podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. I am Jaisy George, the Jaisy to the PB and Jaisy sandwich. Right here we have Sarah Paget.
Hey, y'all.
And of course, the breathing Bill Stedham.
I'm the one that puts the B in the PB and Jaisy sandwich. I'm the guy between the two beautiful women and Tiger King.
And if you hear any heavy breathing,
yes, that is.
Yes.
ASMR. We're going to do some ASMR during this episode. Guys, normally we don't like to get into too much controversy, even though we have talked about politics and religion. But I think I'm going to bring up the most controversial topic right now with did Carol Baskin do it?
Oh.
Absolutely.
We have the one and only Mansfield Tiger King here.
Good morning,
it's a
everybody.
completely
Except
unpredictable show. Tom's got to have the bleep button ready.
Everything. I'm used to Sirius XM.
Yeah.
Yeah. So is this family or is this Howard?
It depends on how you answer your questions today.
Okay.
This is a non-X-rated show.
Okay.
Yes.
I'll
Please keep your shirt on.
We'll go Little Mermaid to Sweet Home Alabama. We won't go to Wolf of Wall Street. Yeah.
Perfect.
There you go.
Yes. So pretty much everything that we've got planned, we're just going to throw it out the window because Jeff is very unpredictable. Thank you so much for being here, though, Jeff.
Oh my gosh, this is crazy. This is amazing. Yeah.
We are very, very excited to pick your brain and see what all you have to say. And maybe you'll have a tale from the lockbox later.
Oh, yeah, of course.
All right. So with that, I'm going to hand it off to Sarah. We'll just get right into it.
Awesome. So I actually have been really excited to interview Jeff. Jeff and I have known each other since we started having memories. I think memories, not memories.
What type of memories
He came
were
to
these?
your mammogram?
Maybe. I don't know.
1989.
No, so Jeff and I started in kindergarten together.
You did it in kindergarten?
Oh my gracious.
No, we didn't start doing it in kindergarten. It was second
later.
grade.
It's way later
God.
than that.
No, we've never done it. And this is so weird already.
Here's my hard
I
drive.
told y'all said throw it out the window. That's
I
what we're
don't
doing.
know how to get
Let's
out
do
of
it.
this.
I can't pivot.
That is
Okay, so anyway, Jeff and I started kindergarten together all the way through high school. He barely graduated, but he did. But yeah, so we've known each other a really, really long time. I've had the opportunity to watch him grow. We've both seen each other at different stages of life and in business, and so now we're actually working together.
Absolutely.
And today we've got some serious questions, but I know that you'll probably not answer them all seriously, so it'll be good.
That's my approach.
Be lighthearted.
Yes.
I like to jokingly present a solution.
Well,
I don't like to have it like so cut and dry because I don't feel like that anybody retains that.
Right.
Like I'll jokingly give you a very serious answer.
Yes.
That way I feel like it's retained more.
And Jeff has this really cool quality of laughing through pain.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, Jeff will be dying or something. He'll be like, oh, my arm is falling off.
Call an ambulance. Do it if you want to. No pressure.
He has a nervous laugh. I love it.
Yeah, I do. The most tense situations, I do that. But actually, when my mom passed away, I kind of started laughing and then asked if anybody needed a Kleenex. I was like, yeah. And they were like, what is I didn't know what to do because, like, it's a defense mechanism.
Yes.
You don't want to cry. You don't want to.
I laugh when things go bad.
Yeah.
I was in the military once and I hit a golf shot and broke out the base commander's car window.
Oh, gosh.
And by the time and his car was parked on the golf course. So, he wasn't the smartest base commander.
Right.
So by the time I got up there, I was dying laughing and everybody's looking at me like, you
You're
are
dead.
going to jail, dude.
I thought you said space commander. I was like, oh, poor Bill.
Base commander.
Okay,
I feel like Bill will be like
now.
on Sergeant Bilko. Did you ever see that with Steve Martin when Phil Hartman runs away or goes away, and then like everything in the barracks turns into like blackjack
yes, I
and stuff
know
like
what you're
that.
talking
And they're
about.
playing golf, and then the guy comes back, and they all turn it back into their mopping.
I've lost control. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Never had
Jeff,
control.
Yeah, never had control. So Jeff, the question that we have, and it is kind of a serious question, but I think there's a lot to unwind in this question, unpack, if you will. I'm going to start with a big question, and then I'll break it down a little bit for you
For
too.
sure.
So the question, the table topic is, how do you rebound once you've hit rock bottom? And that hitting rock bottom means different things for different people. But I want you to talk a little bit, if you're comfortable, talk a little bit about what rock bottom has been for you, and then we'll work our way where you are today.
Absolutely. Well, I had a couple of what I thought was rock bottoms, and then had the rock bottom. And you know when you know, that's just that simple. You know when you know. So ever since I took my first drink of alcohol at the age of 12, I noticed that I liked it more than I've ever liked anything ever in my life.
Wow.
And I was also a pretty good athlete growing up, and I got a lot of attention for that. And so as I got older and everybody kind of grew with me and stuff like that, and my athletic ability kind of went from here to here. I mean, my athletic ability stayed the same, but everybody else kind of caught up. I started kind of going back in the shadows. But when I would get really drunk on the weekends, people on Mondays would talk about me at school. And so like the attention was there again. It's almost like reading your name in the paper after you score 30 points and beat the number one team or something, you know? And, you know, you and I have talked about this a lot. There's certain areas of my life where I lack attention from certain people that I still am trying to get it. And it was just something we'll talk about later about our circle shrinking. But anyway, I think for the wrong reasons, alcohol became my crutch. You know, when my mom passed away, I was intoxicated. At her funeral, I was intoxicated. You know, I don't think I ever was able to work through it. And this was all in high school, you know. And then by that point, you know, my dad was working. He was a single dad. He had never done anything like this before. He didn't even know how to start a dishwasher, you know, because my mom did everything.
Wow.
And so I would just get buzzed to do anything I needed to do that gave me anxiety. Like I had to start doing the grocery shopping. So I would sneak a couple beers. My dad didn't drink, so he didn't really know like how to, you know, so I would like have some in my room. It could be room temperature, I didn't care. Have a couple beers, and then I'd go to the grocery store because I felt like it gave me
So it became like a little bit of a crutch, or even maybe a staple for you.
And so anything I needed to do or had to do, I spoke at a funeral one time drunk. And everybody told me how great I did. And I felt terrible because I knew I wasn't me doing it. You know?
Do you feel like you became, I mean, it's probably a terrible way to put it, but do you feel like you became good at drinking? Like you became good at like knowing how much you needed to
So
perform,
the way that I would prep for a basketball game or a track meet or a golf tournament, I would prep for drinking. If I knew that we were going to, let's say we're going to Lone Star Park today and we were all going to go out and have a good time drinking a lot of beer. What I would have done is yesterday afternoon, once I was done with work, I would have started pounding beers to get as drunk as I can until I blacked out, to get the tolerance ready. And then this morning, I would have already started having a few beers and probably a big zero sugar Monster. I don't know why I care about sugar when I'm drinking that many beers, you know?
Right.
And then my tolerance is up. So the next thing you know, from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., you're drinking 20, 30 beers, driving around.
So you're
and
almost preparing like a runner would prepare for a race, or like carb load. Or,
Yes,
So you're
I would.
thinking so far in advance.
Right.
To
Everything I did was for that next drink, and it had to be calculated, like showing times on real estate, driving to get kids. Anything I did had to be like, I had to calculate it. I bought a car one time because the door had 2 cup holders built in that fit a 24-ounce Miller Lite in each one.
Oh, interesting.
Priorities.
$40,000
with you to try out the
Yeah.
car.
I just pretty much knew. I knew exactly
You knew
how it would.
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I
Yeah.
hand almost. Yeah.
So
Safety rating's good.
And
You can fit 2 car seats. Oh, and 2 Millers right there in the door.
Yeah, that's how my Sam's trips used to be. It was diapers, wipes, and beer. But I did not answer your question. Then I just spent 5 minutes rambling. But so anyway, that's how I learned to cope with everything. And then it was even in good times. Like, oh, the Rangers are winning a game. Let's drink a beer. Oh, the Cowboys are playing. Let's drink a beer. You know.
I think that can be anything, right? I mean, I use food that way a lot. Like,
Yeah.
Because when we were little, Daddy would get paid, or we would be celebrating, or you had like an award ceremony at school, like you would go eat, and that was like, whether you're happy, sad, whether somebody dies, you eat. Everyone, it's
Yeah.
food, you know. And
You get
so I
steak.
think it's easy to plug stuff in those the celebration times or the sad times.
So what happens at some point in time, that tolerance you built up, it just disappears and you find yourself now not able to control yourself, don't you? Or are you able to just keep building tolerance?
No, so, I got up to the point where I could just have a lot and have a lot and have a lot. And then the problem is once I would quit and try to like detox for a little while, the next time I would drink, because if I would go a couple of weeks or even a month, I would go back. They call it your, like, even with the other drugs or anything, your old dose. So instead of buying a 6-pack like maybe a high school kid would for their first time to drink, I would go and buy the 18-pack and make sure I finished it. Well, drinking 18 beers after not drinking for 6 weeks versus drinking 18 beers after drinking for 6 months straight is a lot different ballgame, and you get a lot more sick, and then the anxiety hits it more, and then you can't quit because of the withdrawals and stuff.
Right. So tell us about, how did you know you had hit rock bottom? What does that look like for you? And again, just what you feel comfortable sharing.
Oh yeah, no.
How did you know that it was the rock bottom?
My first rock bottom was September 2016 when I knew that there was 2 ways out. It was either you quit or 6 feet under. And I drank as much as I could. Forgot to pick up my kids from school. My ex-wife had to go get them. That had never, and then she took them to her parents' house or her dad's house at night. And I just switched from beer to liquor and just drank as much as I could. Woke up at 3 a.m., found some more beer. And then
just kind of punishing yourself.
Yeah. And then I was just trying to drink until I didn't wake up again. And then at 11 a.m., I stumbled to Mexican Inn around the corner because they had taken my car keys, but I had my cell phone and I called, this is my beer truck. I called OnStar and they opened my car because as an addict, you always keep cash. So I had $100 cash in my console. So OnStar opened my car for me, and then I walked to Mexican Inn. They cut me off by 11:05 because I already had 3 tequila shots and a margarita. They opened at 11. Walked to Buffalo Wild Wings. The bartender there that knew me really well just put her hand on my shoulder and said, "Go home." Mm-hmm. And I went home, or I was on my way home, and the next thing I remember is I was in jail. Walking home. So I probably should have gone to the hospital, but so I was in jail. And so, and I went straight from jail to a rehab facility, had more support. It was honestly the most amazing time. No phone, no internet, I took it very seriously though. Everything was voluntary because you're there voluntary.
Right. You're an adult.
But they show you, it's almost like going to a convention. There's 14 classes today, or there's, I went to everything I could. I mean, I was taking notes. I was doing everything I could. I almost tried to start mentoring people. I'm 3 days sober. I was so excited for sobriety. And then I stayed sober for about a year, and some things happened with my marriage, other things, and
just life.
Yeah, life. And I asked her if we could just be done, and it was very amicable. But then I didn't have anybody to stop me. Well, so I thought I had y'all, but I didn't have anybody at home to stop me. So I'm sitting there in this big house with the TV out on the deck, and I'm sitting there just, nobody's going to know.
Well,
and I just started drinking.
You were a year sober at that point.
Yeah.
So did you kind of feel like, I figured it out. I did a year or something.
I can just have one.
That's
fine.
I'm so glad you actually said that. The misconception, people go, "Oh, are you a recovered alcoholic?" I said, no. Recovering. You are never recovered. My friend Eddie has been sober since he was 26 years old. I think 1965. June of 65 is his sobriety date.
Wow.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
He knew it in the military. He at 26 years old, he almost lost his life, his job, everything. And he's pretty open about his story. He's not calling him out, but he. And it's just like, wow, you see something like that, and they explain it to you. And that was my problem. Was once I hit that year, I go, oh wow, I did it. I graduated. Right. So because it's almost like if you hit a goal in sales. If you want to hit 10 million for a year and you hit 10 million in August, you don't take off September, October, November, or some people do. And so what I did was I hit that year and I said, oh, right, let's do this.
Time to celebrate.
And I had just ended my marriage. I just got back from a little sabbatical in California to clear my mind. And then anyway, so I did that and thought I should, quit again. I kind of did off and on by myself, not really telling anybody. And then the true rock bottom question that you asked me 20 minutes ago was as I was trying to do it myself. I realized like you're never gonna. The only way to stop is to stop or to, And so
Right.
again, as I was living in my 600 square foot 1-bedroom apartment with only a mattress, 4 bowls, 4 spoons, 4 forks, 4 plates, and 1 cup for me and my 2 daughters, who I didn't get to see a whole lot that month, and obviously. Anyway, it was Memorial Day weekend. I had made it through a nice trip with you guys to New Orleans, sober. Went to the Byron Nelson, sober. The girls were in Oklahoma with their grandparents, so I was like, it's Memorial Day weekend. I just made $11,000 last week. I can take off a little bit. So I had some errands to run, and I didn't want to be bored. So I got a 6-pack, and the first one took me a little while to drink, but the next 5 took me about the same amount as the first one took me. And anyway, I went crazy on that week and got kicked out of Colonial, and went home. Didn't show up for a meeting with you. Pretty much turned off my phone. Everybody knew what was going on. Lied about my whereabouts because my good circle was trying to find me at an AA meeting. And again, switched from beer to liquor. Drank as much Evan Williams because I was too poor to get Jack Daniels. I had negative $2,000 in my bank account.
Oh,
Negative.
that's scary.
Because I hadn't deposited those. Yeah, because I was anyway. So negative in my bank account, and then anyway, it was just bad news. But I had enough cash reserves to go buy beer and liquor. So
I
anyway,
promise there's a happy ending.
yeah, there it is.
Yes.
So I
better.
drank as much as I could that night until I couldn't anymore, and then I woke up the next morning and I just said, I gotta be done. I can't control this. I can't do it without help. I called Sarah immediately. I called Bill. I called my people from AA. I called everybody I knew, and that's when it was finally the time that I knew the rock bottom was there, was because I actually reached out for the help. And I knew, though, once I reached out to people like you, that there was no turning back.
I'm the last person you want someone to hold you accountable.
Yeah.
Because I
mean,
usually hold people accountable even if they don't ask.
Yeah,
me,
I mean, she followed me around
So
and
let's
stuff.
fast forward though, because this does have a really good happy ending.
It does.
I feel
Sorry
like
to ramble.
No, don't say sorry. I feel like you're in a really good spot today. But bridge that gap for us. Like, how do you go from that to where I would consider, and I think all of us would consider you very successful, a great dad, a family man. You've got your crap together. That's not how you would say it, but you've got your crap together.
Yeah.
So how do you go from those 2 points?
Well, there are steps to everything, and I knew the very first thing that I had to do was fully admit that I could never do it again. And and the done thing was I quit cold turkey. You shouldn't do that, but I did anyway. Fully admit, and then you have to educate yourself, just like you would educate yourself on your job. I educated myself on my disease. I did have seizures. I did the withdrawal symptoms and stuff like that. I knew that it was going to be 30 days of physical hell, that I was going to see, feel, smell things that I didn't think humanly possible, because my body was literally getting rid of years of poison.
Right.
And it was just, oh my gosh, it was like 30 days of COVID almost. I mean, it was miserable. But in the meantime, I was excited to get back to work. But I wasn't resting up, And anyway, so I knew that was going to happen. I was prepared for that. Once that happened, I was able to kind of start spiritually, mentally getting a little bit more.
So first it was
clear.
your mind, you feel like educating yourself,
Yes.
and then spiritual. Talk a little bit about spiritual. What does that mean to you?
Well, you don't, a lot of people, I do go to church, and you don't have to have a church, or you don't have to have a specific,
Denomination.
Yeah. And well, even in AA and other programs, they'll say, find your higher power. Well, that could be anything for somebody. So I did start going to
be Miller Lite.
yeah. So I did start going to AA and actually paying attention to the meetings and working the steps. And, I did kind of find that spiritual awakening and the things that people were talking about. And when you hear other people, because you always think you're the worst, you hear other people tell their stories and you're going, oh, okay, well, I'm sad for you, but it's not me. It's not just me.
Yeah.
So I watch you, and I've had the chance to watch you for a long time, and I'm told all the time from people that work in our industry, I want to be just like Jeff. And we'll have new people get in.
We can only have one, Jeff.
We cannot handle anymore. Please.
God took the mold and broke it.
I do qualify it and say certain attributes of Jeff, right?
Yes.
But I'm told all the time, and here's what I've seen you grow into. You were actually leading a session, and it was probably the best attended session that we have put on in 18 months. There was not an empty seat in the house.
Or a dry eye. That was crazy.
Yeah. and dude, I'm proud of you, but that's the top of your game. You're on the top of your game. Now you can still go higher.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's
Just don't get actually
yeah.
No, not actual high.
okay. Well, we have to choose our words correctly,
yes,
so
be
you
careful.
can go higher in your career and your results.
clarify.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's amazing. It's been fun to watch, Jeff. And how do you do that? How do you focus on that? Because you help so many people, yet I feel that you're still well-rounded. I feel that you have time off. You take the time off. You're an amazing dad to 2 girls. Just amazing. How do you do that?
Well, they say be careful to replace one addiction with another. But just, if you believe in signs, I'm a Leo and I'm a guy. And when you tell me,
You didn't say me too.
no, but I'm one of those people where I get real excited, so I don't want to come across like big-headed or cocky, but I thrive on positive affirmation. Like if you say, like when Bill just said that, and that makes me want to like do more of those things because I got such a positive reaction, not pats on the back, because I saw and like if somebody says you're the best realtor ever, that makes me want to go to more classes or educate myself. But if they're like, if I get a bad review or something like that, as you've seen, that hits me hard because, and I don't know if it's an ego thing or just a heart thing or because I still feel like I'm trying to make up for things. And so when somebody doesn't approve, I get a little upset.
Mm-hmm.
So, but my main thing is I replaced the high of all of that with just a high of being philanthropic, but not with money, like with myself, with my time, with my energy, because I have a lot of energy, as y'all know. Like I go to the park, I play with my kids and all the kids. Like that's for me. I am the only dad on the playground a lot, and I don't do that for anything. Well, I have a special needs daughter who kind of needs me there just in case, but I have all the energy. And these other parents, you can see they're at the park to kind of and
They're probably still nursing their hangover.
yeah, and I'm out there on the side and stuff, and
You're very hands-on.
Yeah, and I do that with my buyers, with my clients, with everybody. I want to be everybody's big brother, I guess. And I guess that's to answer your question. That's what makes I get so excited when somebody says thank you.
That's amazing.
Because I know the word thank you doesn't just mean thanks for your help. Like
Right.
they're like thank you
You're really thinking,
because
yeah.
because I feel like I put 100% in everything. Like if you said, how do you search for houses only in Mansfield, I'd be like, oh my gosh, there's a tool right here, and you do this, because I want you to not feel like.
Well, I will say
you burden
this,
me.
and not to interrupt you, but I would say
Oh,
this,
please
that
do.
you really do get your energy from helping others where it might drain somebody. You really do feed off of that. And I've seen you, when you do get a little bit down, you even are self-aware enough to say, I need to go help somebody because that'll make me feel better.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mhm.
I want to thank you personally for things you've taught me and shown me. I've been alcohol-free for 200 and, you probably know, 60 days.
It's
something like that.
it's crazy.
Yeah, makes me want to drink. Just kidding. No, that's a long time, but I've watched you and what it's done in your life, and I do thank you for that because it's been beautiful. So we want you to stick around, Jeff. We've got some more stuff and some more things to ask you, but we have a little segment coming up that we like to call
Tales from the Lockbox. As you guys know, we're all in real estate, and we come across some really crazy stuff from time to time. Just unbelievable things in our every day-to-day life. And Jeff, I bet you do too. But I want to start. I want to tell you about this time many years ago. I was a brand new manager, and I had an office in Ellis County, and I'd just taken it over. And we used to, in the old days, so I'm dating myself, we would drive around and we would look at all the new listings. We would call that office tour. TOUR.
Tour.
All right. So we'd go look at the listings, and we had one where we did the entire MLS. So we had realtors from all different organizations. And we're going to a listing, and to protect the guilty, I'm going to use the agent's name as Daisy. And this agent worked for me. Daisy, not Jaisy. Okay, so Daisy worked for me. We go to the listing, and she tells all of us, there's about 40 of us, it's very important not to let the cat out. And we go through this house, and it's out in the county. It looks amazing. And we're leaving to get back in the car and go someplace else. And Daisy says, oh my God, there's the cat.
Oh, no.
So now we have 40 people chasing this cat around the front yard.
Oh,
Well,
no.
we caught the cat. We were very good. We caught the cat because we thought it was the cat that belonged in the house. And we gave the cat to Daisy. And Daisy tossed the cat in the house and locked up the house.
I think I know where this
Yes.
is going.
So
This thing will go well.
later on that evening, I'm sitting back in my office and I'm enjoying a cup of coffee and whatnot. And Daisy calls me and says, we have a terrible problem. And I said, what? And she said, remember that cat that we caught and I put back in the house? I said, yes. And she said, it wasn't the right cat.
Oh, no.
And I said, who's we, Kimosabi? No.
I
So
love it.
Daisy and I drove over to the house, and this cat had single pawed destroyed
Oh,
this
no.
person's house.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm
Yeah,
not.
that's terrible.
And I remember the price. It was about $13,000 worth of damage that had been done. Now, back
Yeah.
in that time, that was a lot of damage.
And
from,
then there was the cost of putting that cat down.
It's a small
well,
pause
That's
to
just
pay.
a hammer.
yeah. So what a weird situation we came across. Jeff, have you encountered anything?
Oh gosh, shoot. There's
Which to
been.
choose.
What about the fitness smoke?
Oh, that lady. Yes.
Can you do that one quickly?
Oh yes, I can do that one really quickly. So, we got a listing through online referral base, I guess. They found us, and the guy lived out of state. His stepdaughter was living at the house. We call it a house. It was a
Shack.
it was a mobile home that was starts with a D. Was it like it needed to be destroyed? But like it was
Right,
It was
yeah.
not livable. Like they had extension
Needed
cords
to be
coming from
condemned,
everywhere.
probably,
Yeah, it needed to be
yeah.
condemned. And so anyway, so I pull up and she's there, and I said, hey, they're running a little bit late. I'll just wait outside. And she goes, okay. And a couple minutes later, she's like, hey, are they on their way? I said, yeah, they're on their way. She goes, okay, because my friends just got here. I was like, okay, I'm sorry. She goes, okay, cool. Well, another minute goes by and she comes back out. She goes, so like, are they close? And I said, yeah, they're almost here. She goes, okay, because like we all need to hurry because we finna smoke. And I was like, well, shit, girl, go ahead. She goes, nah, we finna smoke. And I was like, oh. And then I'm like sitting there, trailer. I see like gas cans and electric cords going over here and this and that. I
Was
was
this before or after you hit rock bottom?
this was.
Girl, why'd you call me?
This was after the 2016 rehab, but before the 2018 rock bottom. This was actually
Okay.
2017 when I had an amazing year until I relapsed.
Perfect. Okay, well, good.
But yeah, that was a fun one. Yeah, and then recently a guy, I guess because the market's crazy, he just threw the lockbox on the porch. Like it's not even on the door handle. I walked up to show the listing, and
Just like a
it's
little-
it's sitting there like your water bottle is. Like it's not hooked up to anything. You could just walk off with it.
details from the loose lock.
Oh my
Details
gosh.
from the loose box.
Wow. So send in your questions. In fact, Sarah, tell us about the mailbox.
So we do have a mailbox. If you guys want to reach out with a story, we will put it in an episode if it's good enough. It needs to be funny. But we would
Prove
love
yourself.
to. Yes, we would love to hear from you guys. And then I think Jaisy's going to wrap us up.
Yes.
Level up.
We are going to level up. So the quote of the week, I'm sure we've all heard this quote, is you're your worst critic. Jeff, I'm sure you can kind of feel that. So we're going to do something about that negative voice that you've got. So every time you catch yourself having that negative self-talk, something that you wouldn't say to someone else, I want you to kind of catch yourself and instead say something positive about yourself. So think of it like a mental swear jar, but
Okay.
instead of
I have a
swearing.
nice forehead.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love it. Instead, you got to pay yourself something, a positive thing, instead of slapping yourself with an insult.
Okay.
So let us know how that goes, guys. That's all that we've got today. Jeff, thank you so much for being here and sharing your
Yeah,
story and
absolutely.
Awesome.
telling us how to go from rock bottom to rock hard.
Oh my.
Oh.
Don't go to that one.
Did she say rock hard?
Bill's like, what's that?
Call one.
So guys,
900
don't
Jaisy.
forget to rate us on the platform that you're watching. Tell a friend about us. We can't wait to hear from y'all next time. But with that, PB and JC, we out.
We out.
All right.
Just had a chat, talk this and that with PB and JC.